Welcome back to Creating Cooperative Kids. I'm your host, Bill Corbett. Teaching children about everyday life can be such a rewarding experience for the child as well as the caregiver. Now, the goal of my next guest is to help parents and teachers become experts at catching the teachable minute so that you can interact with kids of all ages, anytime and anywhere. Connie Hebert has presented seminars, model lessons, and inspirational keynote addresses for parents and teachers at events and conferences in 47 states. She's the author of the book, The Teachable Minute, The Secret to Raising Smart and Appreciative Kids, and has a Master's of Arts and Education reading from the College of William & Mary, Williamsburg, Virginia. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks for having me on.
When I heard about your book and when we connected over social media, I said, my gosh, that's what I'm always talking to parents about. And now I get to recommend your book because teachable moments happen constantly. In fact, I was reading your book and you were in the chapter here on public places. Mm-hmm. One of the things that came to mind for me was one day my son, who is behind the glass in the director's chair there, one of waving to me. We were in a mall parking lot. We were at a mall parking lot, and I noticed this lady got out of the car, the driver's seat, and she came around and she opened the passenger seat for her husband. And I thought it was great role reversal. Yes. And it was because it was reversed, it was maybe more likely for my son to catch it. So I stopped him and I said, look, did you notice what she just did? And he's like, yeah, Dad, you know? And I said, what happened? She opened the door for him. I said, that's awesome. Yeah. And so these teachable moments are so important. So the first question I have to ask you is, why did you write this book?
Well, my husband and I raised 3 smart and appreciative kids. And of course, we all think our kids are the best, and we do, and we're very proud of them. And the way in which we did it, a lot of it was catching that teachable minute. The opportunity, wherever we were, to stretch their thinking, to tap into their natural curiosity, to ask them questions like you just mentioned in the last segment, open-ended questions as opposed to yes-no questions. So we got our kids thinking, and that helped them to become great readers and great writers. I'm a reading specialist, and I help kids that can't read around the country. But this idea of catching the teachable minute came to me after I was in a Friendly's, a restaurant, and I watched a little 5-year-old boy talk to his mom for 45 minutes. And he was telling her things about the restaurant, asking questions, talking about his coloring, but never once did she look up from her cell phone. And my heart sunk, and I felt badly. I know we are all dependent and grateful for technology, and we're using it like crazy to unite the world and learn so much, but I think we've got to keep it in a check and balance. And a lot of the young parents, I think, are having difficulty with that. And they don't realize that the message they're giving to their kids when they're on these devices for too long is that the kids are not as important as the device. We don't want that happening. We also don't want to see kids, and I don't know about you, but we're seeing a lot of kids in restaurants and airports and hotel lobbies and elevators and escalators who are doing this.
Don't get me started. Don't even get me started.
So that's why the Teachable Minute is the secret to raising smart and appreciative kids. And I think if you're going to use devices in restaurants and wherever you are in the car, then use it as a teaching tool. Let's look up an octopus and see why it's called an octopus. Let's look up what's happening with world affairs. Let's look up, what the job of a car mechanic is on an iPad, but at least connect it as a teachable tool, not to all have our separate things. So that's why I wrote it, and I really, really want to help these young parents become experts at connecting with their kids.
And that's so right. I wrote the book, The Love, Limits, and Lessons, and I took opportunities in there to help parents slow down because, like you say, every teachable moment, they pass through us right before our eyes with our family, wherever we are. Yes. I remember one time my son and I were going to a restaurant, and I noticed, and parents can do this, if you slow down, you can notice these opportunities. There was a man who looked like he was sight impaired, and he was tapping his stick on the curb with fast traffic going by. And I ran over to him, and I told my son, I said, hold on, stay right here. I ran over to him, and I said, how can I help? And I said, you know that you're looking at the facing traffic? He goes, yes, but I can't find the bus stop, and I'm confused. And I said, how can I help you? Because I didn't want to grab him by the arm. I said, how can I help you? And he said, talk so I can follow your voice and take me to the bus bench, which was a couple of feet away. And I said, okay, follow me. So I was singing or counting, whatever, and he's following me with a stick, and he said, thank you so much. So teachable moments come in all kinds, all shapes and form. Now, you wanted to share one from your book.
Well, in the book, I made it so simple that parents could really just have it really as a resource. So there are 77 places. There are 5 categories: around our town, in our home, public places, transportation, and recreational spots. And I've got some free downloads that parents can download on the teachableminute.com website, so that if they want to learn about instilling belonging in their children, and that relates to the ideas I have in here about your home. Instilling belonging is a great value. Or encouraging play by going to the various recreational games and sports that we all take our kids to. So that's what I put 77 places, and basically made it simple for parents to learn and become experts. This is just a springboard. But if you remember SAT, what to show kids, what to ask kids, and what to teach kids. And there's ideas for both younger and older children. I really want parents, if they use the ideas, to just get good at doing it themselves. That's the idea, to turn the responsibility over, so when they're in a museum, they're in the fruit aisle of the grocery store, or they're on an escalator with kids, what's something that I could show them, ask them, and teach them? So, and then in the book, I also have great stories from parents that I interviewed before I put the book together, from all over the country. One is from a mom, Betty, in Council Bluffs, Iowa. And she talks about taking her kids to a museum, and she writes, I took the kids to our local museum every school vacation for about 10 years. Do you know what they remember about it? They remember the stuffed bunny that was in a glass case with the lights on him. When the lights changed color, so did he. I wish they remembered more than just the bunny, but I did use him to teach them about the concept of camouflage. So great ideas like that. And I've got different suggestions, especially for moms and especially for dads, because we think a little differently. The things that dads want to teach kids are different than the things moms want to teach kids, and the same with grandparents. I also have included, a lot of parents asked me to put some book titles in there. So I handpicked 77 different excellent books for each place. So let's say you're going to New York City and you know you're going to be in a cab with your kids, then you can look up in the back and see which book I recommend to help kids learn more about taxi cabs, especially kids that have never been in one. And then in the very back of the book, they'll find Teachable Minute lines, lines that we should be using with kids besides just "you're a good boy" or "how was school today," but things that make them feel special and important, and that can be feedback. Like, I love the way you mentioned that. I love the way you taught me that. Isn't that amazing that you did that today? Or lines like, so tell me more about that. So you are just always teaching me something. That is so great, honey. Those kind of lines that I think young parents especially just need help with. We're not born, many people are not born as teachers. There are a handful of natural born teachers in the world, but as parents, we are all our children's first and most important teachers, and you know this as well as I do from raising our kids. The problem comes that most people are not trained as teachers. So how do they know how to ask certain questions and how to go in? I filmed in Dave's Pet store, Teachable Minute, with what you would teach your kids in the pet shop, and that is so valuable. It's like a school in there. There's so millions of things you could teach your kids, but you really got to kind of get the flair for it and learn from somebody that is a teacher.
And you're so right. One of the things I realize what you're doing is through teaching the Teachable Minute, you're bringing them to conscious awareness of now, because so many parents and adults in general are stuck in this automatic programmed subconscious mode, moving through life. But what you're doing, and the book, and I was reading through there's great ideas that give parents tips, because I know they're going to read it and they go, "Ow, why didn't I think about that?" But listen, this is really good. Good luck with your book.
Thanks,
and your
Bill.
speaking.
Thank
I
you.
know a lot of parents are really going to benefit
Thank you so
from
much.
reading through that book, The Teachable Minute. Thank you so much.
Bill.
When we slow down and take notice of the simplest things in life, we are able to take advantage of huge teaching opportunities for the children in our care. And speaking of teaching and learning, on today's show, we also heard about a program that teaches teens to speak, natural solutions to stress for parents, and we also learned about how we can help a child grieve. Now, I hope you'll tune in to future episodes of this program as I offer more tools to help you rebuild your parenting toolbox as an awesome parent or teacher. If you're watching this on DVD or online and you'd like to get it on your local public access channel, contact my office to find out how. See, making the world a better place to live begins at home as engaged, encouraged, and masterful parents. I'm Bill Corbett. I'll see you the next time on Creating Cooperative Kids.
I'll go to sleep with the lights off tonight, even though I'm scared of the dark. I can lick that thing under my bed with one hand. I know I can. In my heart, I'm gonna be big. I'm gonna reach real high. I'm gonna blaze a trail of my own across the sky. I just need some time